Question.
Hi, this is Frank Rich from Watergraphs.com. I'm here in Burnley, England at the Star Wars Fan Fun Day, and I am here with Simon Williamson.
Hi.
Simon, thank you for your time today. Simon, can you tell us a little bit about what you remember with your days of filming for Return of the Jedi?
Oh, they were great, because I'd been at Elstree before for a whole year on a film beforehand called The Dark Crystal, so I knew where to go, and it turned out that a lot of people on the same crew of Dark Crystal were now working on Jedi. And in fact, when I was hired, on my first day before we started shooting, I was taken around the Ewok set, and the person showing me around didn't know I'd already been hired. His name was Stuart Zip, and he kept on going around saying, well, looking over his shoulder and saying, well, if you're hired, this will be this set. And as I went onto the set, all members of the crew would come up and say, hi Simon, are you on this one? They say, yeah. And so after a while, Stuart realised I was already on it, which is quite a nice thing to happen.
What do you recall about that set for Jabba's Palace?
Well, most of the time was Jabba's Palace, and having worked with the Hensons, you kind of know the fact that most of the work takes place underneath the set, because puppeteers are working from underneath. Like most sets, they're absolutely terrific. You kind of set up a complete world.
And what kind of Max Rebo? How was he animated? How did he come to life from puppetry from beneath?
He was a half puppet from the waist upwards. So I would get into Max Rebo's organ, the instrument that surrounds him, from underneath the stage, and they would put the costume over me. So I'd put my head in and then my arms in, which is getting very tight, and then I'd kind of sit there and wait for instructions, which was a bit difficult because through all that rubber it's difficult to hear and you can't see anything. So they stuck an earpiece in my ear, one of my ears. So,
do you recall how long you were on the set shooting?
Well, generally, because it was quite difficult to get in and out of the Max Rebo costume, I stayed in longer than a lot of people, so I'd probably be in there for up to an hour or so sometimes, which is quite hard to do.
I can't even imagine. How many days did you shoot about?
I can't remember, but I think I was originally hired on a 2-week contract, and they kept on extending it because myself and another mime artist, we showed them how we felt the Gamorrean Guard should be working, and from that moment onward they used us for all the Gamorrean Guard sequences, so I added another couple of weeks. So I ended up working on the whole movie for about 6 weeks in the end. So
that's great. Now, the autograph circuit, the World of Star Wars autographs, how did you get involved in this?
Well, originally I was only credited as a puppeteer on the credits of the movie, and it's only when Internet Media Database came about that it said Simon Williamson, Max Rebo brackets uncredited, that I started to get a little trickle of autographs from people who found out where I was, and so I'd sign them and send them back, and then the trickle became a flood, and I thought there's something in this, and I spoke to another actor on the circuit, and he said, oh yes, we've been doing this for years, and it could be anywhere, it could be Paris, it could be America, it could be Japan, you want to get involved, and I did, and the first one I did was Paris with autographs.
Fantastic. This weekend was May the 4th, International Star Wars Day.
Yes.
Can you
Could
tell
I
us
ask all the autograph guests and as many of the costume organisations to make their way to the Death Star wall for the group photo, please?
Well, that was Neil.